Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Trading Together. I'm Mel Gacee. Today is Wednesday, July the 29th. It's the FOMC meeting. So I am live streaming here to see what happens, see if we can maybe take some trades here, and we will kind of monitor what goes on. Um, I'm going to be listening to the press conference, which doesn't start until 2:30 Eastern. I'm going to be listening to that. So hopefully that won't bother you because I'm going to have that on during the stream at the end, right? So interest rate comes in about 9 minutes. The market has been, okay, sorry, excuse me 1 second. Okay. So we are, let me back out here and let's see if we can see kind of what our pattern has been so far today. If you're here, by the way, drop your name in the chat. I would love to say hi and answer any questions or comments you might have. Trading the FOMC announcement is going to be challenging, so we'll talk through that here as well. We may or may not get a spike at the actual announcement itself. It's pretty much concluded that the decision is going to be flat, no hike, no cut. But what the market is going to be looking for is the kind of the response from the committee members, and the press conference is going to be really important. Remember, this is only the second meeting that Chair Warsh has led. So we will kind of need to get an idea from him of where he is at. Now, he kind of didn't say too much about his personal opinions on rate cuts or hikes at the last meeting. So we don't really know exactly where he stands. But being a Trump nominee, we would assume that he's going to err on the side of rate cuts. But at the last meeting, there was a good bit of dissension about that. Not all of the members were in agreement with that. So we will see. Trading, like I said, trading FOMC announcements can be tricky. So right now, we're zooming out here and we're going to take a look at what the market did today. It was pretty wild. We are still sitting pretty elevated on the VIX, even after this massive run up from our low at 731 on the SPY to this recent high. It's not today's high, but 737. So good 60-point run up. You would expect to see the VIX move a lot more than that, and it did not. So what that tells me is that the market is still jittery. So that is that's the problem here. So okay, so yeah, we opened up this morning with strong gap down, and then we came all the way down to this bottom. So we have been really swinging. 740 was the top, 731 the bottom. I mean, that's almost 100 points. It's about 90 points of movement there. That's pretty extreme. And now we are sitting not really in the middle, but I guess not too far off of the middle. So 731 to 736, yeah, not too far off of the middle. We're sitting right on the VWAP. And oh, hey, Maddie and James are here. Welcome, welcome. All right. There's going to be some little weird music in the background. I have the live stream going for the FOMC press announcement and press conference, and so it's hopefully that music isn't too annoying. I turned it down, and hopefully we'll be okay. It won't bug you too much. Kind of sounds like on hold music, doesn't it? All right, David Neely, hello there. All right, about 5 minutes till the announcement. We really, like I said, after we pushed this high, we came back down. We're just kind of hovering right here at the VWAP. All right, before you get going, are you streaming the last 10 minutes of the trading day? No, not really, Maddie. I don't usually stream the end of the trading day, but it's a great question. I'm going to be trading or streaming through the end of the press conference, which I'm thinking will be roughly around 3 p.m. Eastern, but I'm not positive. But great question, Maddie. Thank you. All right, so over, under, the VWAP here for the last, I don't know, 30 minutes. Our announcement will be coming out shortly. So let's talk about what the market tends to do with the FOMC announcement. So the actual announcement itself will usually get some kind of jitters on that first minute. So that's going to come in about 3 more minutes. Usually we'll see kind of these spikes up and down, and then it sort of settles into a pattern. And then we get another waiting period before the press conference. Now, if we get some sort of a surprise, let's say they do decide to hike the rates, then we could see a massive response from the market. Or if they decided to cut or raise, we would probably see a very large response from the market, up or down. And so that would be different. Those would be really big spikes, and it would pick a direction real quick and charge ahead in that direction. So we don't expect that to happen, but that would be a surprise situation. And trading those spikes would be pretty hard. You've got to wait really you got to give it a couple of minutes after the announcement and let it kind of settle in. You don't want to trade right at the announcement. If you're holding something before the announcement, you've got about 2 minutes to set a limit order, which I would highly recommend. If you're holding something before the announcement, set a limit order for your profit or even your loss, because it can get some wild spikes there. So you got to be careful with that. All right. So just kind of toggling here, not going anywhere. Okay. All right, 1 minute. Let's see what we get. So again, quite unusual that the VIX would be so elevated with this kind of a huge push up during the day today. That's really unusual. We've got oil going crazy, up 7% on Brent, and crude up 6%. All right, little push here. Okay, there's the announcement. Big spike. Sorry, Mark, what are you asking? Trading will be for the 30th. Oh, would we trade today's expiration? I'm actually, it's a little riskier to trade today's expiration, but I'm actually good with it. I would recommend though, yeah, to take tomorrow's expiration. It's a good idea. All right, there's a push. And I don't know what the announcement was yet. Let's take a look. We assume that we're flat. Okay, market liked it. 738 is where we're sitting. All right, 375 was the decision. So we knew that. 375, 3.75 rates remain the same. No, uh, n- no, but the market's okay. It's liking it. It's fine. Good morning. Hi, Nick. I said good morning. Not really morning anymore. Hey, all right. The VIX got a big push down right there. Just missed the morning. Yeah, exactly. All right. So we're up to 739 right now. So kind of a mild reaction, really. We jumped well, about 30, 40 points. So, I mean, I've seen it jump a whole bunch more, but that's a decent reaction there. The market liked what it saw. Right, settling in a little bit here. $738. So we're back to our overnight low, which we've been kind of trading below for a long time. We jumped up through it, and now we're coming back down. Uh, no way yet, David. Great question, though. Um, this is a spike and a small pullback. I don't know that there's a direction yet, believe it or not. Okay, a little bounce here at the overnight low. If we come down to the VWAP, that's a long way down. Um, Well, I don't think they're going to do that. Looks like they might try to push it again. Let's take a quick look at what the volume did after that spike. All right, so we're seeing heaviest volume on the put side at the 735 level, followed by 734. That's a good bit below us. Got volume kind of down the chain or up the chain here. No, sorry, down the chain, down to 730. And then on the call side, got about equal volume at the 740 strike, and volume also at 41, 42, kind of a little bit growing here, 43, up to 45. So that would be a huge push if we got up. I don't know that we're going to get up that high, but you never know. Never know with FOMC, that's for sure. And the gamma, gamma's still sitting negative, which is really interesting. After that big push, we are still sitting at negative gamma. Coming back down a little, we're back. $735 is still the put wall. And there's still not much gamma on the call side. That's really weird. 748 call wall. So let's get back to the chart. Right, there's just a little kind of ranging right here at the overnight low. So tried to recover it with that nice spike, and then now it's kind of coming down through it. I might consider puts here. If I did, I'd be looking at the 738s. They're not super expensive right now. Remember that if you follow at your own risk. This is just educational, just my thoughts. I can be wrong. So follow at your own risk and keep your stops, okay? And by the way, I'm not in yet. I'm watching for a possible put trade here. VIX is kind of climbing up a little bit. Came down here to 18.4, and now it's back up to 18.8. So far we're not really losing the overnight low, not just yet. And they may just pull us sideways until the conference. So this trade here was really just a lotto. You would have to just be in the trade before the announcement and guess the direction correctly, because that's only a 1 minute bar there. Now, if you guessed it right, great. But if you guessed it wrong, then you're in a little bit of pain right now. All right, the MACD gave us a little red here. I don't know that they're really going to drop it super far before the press conference, but they could. Nick, favorite kind of trades, 50-50. Yeah. So you can see we're not really going anywhere right now. Not yet. If we come up and start pushing up over this top, we can consider calls. Let's see if there's any real volume over that. That is at 739. I mean, there is. Yeah, there's volume at 740 and growing volume at 741. So yeah, if it does come up and challenge that 739 top, we could consider calls. Market is still slightly negative. So the Qs are down about 0.2%. The SPY is down about 0.4%. Like I said, oil is still climbing. So this is still a bit of a negative environment, even though we did get that nice push there. And so we went over this a little bit this morning, but basically the last time Fed Chair Warsh spoke, the market didn't really love it. That was it was the first press conference that he had, and there were a couple of things the market didn't like. The market didn't like that he's kind of shaking things up over there, changing the way we look at data, potentially changing this whole idea of the Fed's giving forward guidance to the market. He's changing that up. So there were a few things the market didn't like. He also did not really let on as to what direction he thought rates should go. He abstained from his vote. Okay, there's a nice little drop there. So he abstained from his vote, and he's kind of playing his cards a little close to his chest. We don't know exactly what he thinks rates should do, but we do know that he's, like I said earlier, a Trump appointee. So we would assume that he's going to lean toward rate cuts, which makes him what they call dovish. So if the market is bullish and bearish, the Feds are hawkish and dovish. I don't know where these terms came from. They just are. They just exist. So hawkish is in favor of raising rates. Dovish is in favor of cutting rates. So the fact that he is a Trump nominee would suggest that he is probably dovish, but he has not admitted to that, and he stayed pretty quiet about what his thoughts are on interest rates. So we'll have to see how he comes out at the press conference. My guess is it could be short and sweet. He took the Fed statement last meeting and chopped it way down, took a bunch of paragraphs out, lots of old language, and cut it way down, really, really made it concise and to the point. So, I think his style might be kind of, you know, short, sweet, to the point. So we'll see how long the press conference lasts, and we'll see if he lets on with any other ideas about where we might go. All right. Hawks fight the inflation of the dove population, I guess. Yeah. So inflation is the main thing. He said that also. He said that at the last meeting. They were really committed to getting prices under control. And that's so the feds do have that dual mandate. They have to keep inflation under control and they have to keep labor healthy, the employment market healthy. So that is their dual mandate. Usually that puts them at opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to raising or cutting rates. So to fight inflation, you want to raise the rates. To fight unemployment, you want to lower the rates. That's really kind of the only tool that they have to use. And so they're constantly trying to balance. All right, we're coming back down here. They're constantly trying to balance how to use that tool. Market's moving pretty slowly, so it's a little challenging to take a trade right now. I do kind of like the puts here, but it's really just so slow. It's going to take forever to get a profit. This is an interesting kind of slow bleed out from this fast push. Slowly coming back down. We were kind of sitting in here in the 736 range when we got the announcement, and now we're getting closer, 737. I might take a quick put here. We may not make much on it, but I'm in, punch it. We might not make very much on it. It's moving so slowly. So I may wind up taking a very small win. If I get a win, we'll see. All right, that was nice. And if you follow, again, do it at your own risk. And also, if you get profit before I do, go ahead and take it. Don't wait for me because everybody will have a different fill. I'm going to get out here, punch it. That's I think 5 or 6%. I think we'll come down and test the VWAP, but I don't want to get greedy on FOMC day. It tends to be erratic sometimes. That was a quick little 5% there. That was good. Was it 5? Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit more than 5, more like maybe 6 or 7 there. So that was good. All right, coming to test the VWAP. Very good. This is not a super healthy response here, even though we did get this big push. This is not a super healthy response. We're coming right back down to where we were pre-announcement. That means the market is not sure. It's not really, it knew we were going to get no move on the rates. And so it's just not sure right now. VIX is just kind of minding its business here at 18.7. Not really climbing, not dropping anymore. Just, even though the market has dropped a bit, the VIX really hasn't climbed that much. So we got that pop down when we got the announcement. So it popped it from 19.3, and it brought it all the way down to 18.4. It's kind of slowly climbed up, but not significantly. It's still sitting right now at 18.69 or 18.7. Still elevated. All right, testing the VWAP now. If we break the VWAP, we might consider another put here, maybe. Little response here at the VWAP. Qs haven't tested their VWAP yet. And Kevin Warsh should end the press conference in about 5 minutes. We'll see. I'm sure he'll start on time. I would guess that he would. But look at oil just continuing to climb. 7.6 on Brent, 7 on crude. It's a decent climb for oil. Google up 1.8, Microsoft 1%, Apple 0.9, Amazon just flat, the mags just flat, Meta flat. That's the other thing happening tonight, guys. Don't forget, Microsoft and Meta report after the bell. So we could see lots of movement tonight after the bell. Which, back to you, Mark, if we do go with a trade and we do use tomorrow's expiration, if we think that the market wants to drop after earnings, or even if it wants to rise, it's another good point to holding overnight. Now, that is way risky. It's a lotto trade because I think the market's not going to like Microsoft and Meta earnings, but I could be 100% wrong, and we could get a huge response to the upside. Either way, holding overnight for that is a bit of a crapshoot, but it is, if anyone is going to take that bet, it's a lotto. And if you took a trade today for tomorrow, kind of going in the direction you think it might be going, then that is something to do. Just remember that it's going to be very much of a lotto trade because there's probably going to be big movements one way or the other, or maybe both. You never know. I personally think they will come down. The market will come down after earnings, but I could be way off there. All right. Tesla down 1.6. And chip stocks are down. NVIDIA down 2%. Wow. Micron down 7%. SanDisk down 4%. We're really taking a beating here, these chip stocks. And again, the South Korean market absolutely tanking again. SK Hynix reported earnings and beautiful, beautiful earnings and absolutely got slaughtered. So lots of writing on the wall here. So that is not what I meant to do. Right, so the Qs haven't quite tested their VWAP yet. It's sitting right here. They're getting closer. Oh my gosh, my Thinkorswim has been just really slow lately. Good grief. Right. Wow, come on, load. Wow. Come on. You can do it. Head and Shoulders showing a little. Let's take a look at that, Maddie. It could be a Head and Shoulders. We'll take a look. If my SPY would load. There we go. Oh, yeah, it's wonky for sure. You could see it starting to form here. Left shoulder. Left shoulder, head. If we come up and come back down again, we could form a right shoulder. So yeah, you're not wrong there, Maddie. Slowly curving up. Yep. Oh my goodness. Let's see the inverse. I don't know that I see an inverse here. Not really. I don't think so. David asking if I can hear him when he speaks. Yes, I should be able to. Let me see. Let me get over there. Oh, looks like he's coming out. And let me see if I can get my volume going. All right. Hopefully. All right, 9 to 3. That's encouraging. I'm loading puts at 7:37. Yeah, right. All right, so he's starting the Q&A. Basically, he said he's going to continue to monitor inflation. Getting a push here. So he's just reiterating that they're not going to lead or guide the markets, that the markets need to guide. Very true, James. So I do have 739 calls loaded. I'm going to take the call. It's risky. We're at the top. I'm in. Punch it. She's asking about who dissented and why. right, I'm out here. Punch it. It's like 5 or 6%. Great job, David. That is a strong push there. Markets are liking what he's saying today. That is a strong push. These moving averages are straight up. 740 is where we're sitting. That's where we saw the volume. Look at this. This is straight up. I might take a short here, a put here, just to trade a little pullback. It's super risky. Just be aware of that. Just because we're so straight up right now, we should get some pullback here. I'm not in it yet. I'm just looking. I think the fact that the vote was 9-3 has a lot to do with this push. I'm just going to take a small put here. It's super risky. I'm in. Don't follow if you don't like the risk. This is super risky. I'm just trading a small retracement on this pull up. Oh, wow. Well, that was that was the wrong gamble on my part. $7.41. market liking it because he's slowly going to remove the Fed's influence on the market. Maybe that might be it. He's definitely removing the market's dependence on the Fed. That's for sure. Almost 742. This is a crazy parabolic climb. Yeah, right. David asking if the rubber band is going to snap. It's going to have to at some point. Doesn't have to right this minute, though. Nick. Yeah, still just slowly climbing here. Might jump on another call here at 7:42. Some point this is going to slow down and stop, but we don't know where. The volume says we could go to 7:43 and maybe 7:34 or 7:44. Markets have gone green from red. That's impressive. If we still have regular Fed press conference a year from now, I'll eat my shoe. Yeah, you're not wrong, Nick. I think he'd love to get away from that. I'm going to take the call here. I'm in. Punch it. 5 minutes, we start the crazy hour. Yeah, not wrong, David. Well, I'm 0 for 2, but the put's looking better. All right, I'm out of that put. I'm out punch it. I was like, at this 5%. 33 on the put. Nice, David. Nick's climbing again. I'm looking at 740 puts. I'm going to try this put here. I'm in, punch it. All right, I'm going to take 8% here, punch it, I'm out. All right, David's cashing out. All right, David, congrats. All right, that does it for the press conference. So basically, he said a lot of the same. They're going to rely on markets for guidance. They are committed to fighting inflation. Let me turn this stream off. There we go.